In the September 2012 edition of Social Education, Lee Hamilton states that voting is the shared ritual of democracy. Voting is a responsibility that every American should participate in. This is important because many of you are around the age of 18, and voting is a new right you will receive. I have watched the presidential debates for the past several elections, and I have always been fascinated with politics. Today, I will be providing you reasons why you should vote, including every vote counts, you get a choice, and voting is a privilege. First, let's start by talking about how every vote counts. Every vote has value and makes a difference in the election. According to the June 28th issue of the Wichita Eagle, Bill Barrow states that Hillary Clinton was leading by margins in Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania, the same states that ultimately put Trump over the top. This shows just how important it is to get out and vote. Even if a candidate is significantly ahead in a certain area, all it takes are votes to change the outcome of an election. Another example is the election of 1800, where Thomas Jefferson became president with just one vote. Imagine if that individual had voted differently. Thomas Jefferson would have never been our president, and the course of history would have been forever changed. So even if you think your vote doesn't count, it does. For all you know, your vote could be the deciding factor. Now that I've explained how every vote counts, I will be discussing how voting gives you a choice. Voting gives you the opportunity to choose the candidate that's best fit. According to the New American Handy College Dictionary, 3rd edition, the definition of vote is a formal expression of choice. That's right, you get a say in who runs our country. When voting, you want to choose the candidate that best aligns with your beliefs and values. And to help you make a decision, a lot of candidates mail brochures and pamphlets like these to registered voters. So if you look on the cover, you have the name of the candidate as well as the deadline to vote so that you don't forget. And if you open it up, you notice that it's divided into sections. This part is the bio, and it just provides basic background information on the candidate. And then down here, you have the candidate's educational background. And on this side, it covers what activities they've participated in. But the side that you really want to focus on is right here. This side shows different issues that are affecting people today, and it also covers the candidate's views on these issues. Once you've found a candidate that you agree with, I still encourage you to continue researching them, including looking up information online. You just want to make sure that the websites you're visiting are credible and free from bias. And many candidates have their own personal websites that provide additional information about them. But it's important to not limit yourself to just one candidate. Even if you find an individual that you're sold on, continue to look around, because you might find a new candidate that you really like that you didn't previously know about. And sometimes you might find yourself in a position where you don't really care for either candidate. If this is the case, you want to vote for the individual that shares more things in common with you. If there's a certain issue that you're really passionate about, choose the candidate that also agrees with you on this particular topic. Another helpful tip is to look at the candidate's running mate. Ask yourself, does this person share my same beliefs and values? If the answer is yes, they might be the candidate for you. Now that I've explained how voting provides you a choice, I will finally discuss how voting is a privilege. You should vote because voting is a privilege that many people have fought for. Former Hutchinson Rotary Club member Rudy Rodriguez stated in a personal interview from July 2nd, "You should vote because voting is a privilege that many people in other countries don't have." Unfortunately, this is true. There are also many people that take voting for granted and they don't exercise their right to vote. Part of what's great about America is that it's a democracy. This means that the individuals elect their officials. Take advantage of this and vote. Also, before 1920, women weren't allowed to vote. Had it not been for the actions of women, such as Elizabeth Cady Stanton and Susan B. Anthony, women might still be deprived of this right. But it wasn't just women who were treated unfairly. Before the Voting Rights Act of 1965 was signed, African Americans used to be forced to take literacy tests to prove that they were competent enough to vote. This isn't fair, but this was the reality of the time. There are also individuals in the military who are fighting so that our freedoms and rights, such as voting, remain. In fact, voting is so important that they allow individuals in the military to vote using what is known as absentee voting. This means that if an individual is unable to make it to the polls, they can send someone to vote in place of them. All of these people didn't fight for no reason. Show them your respect by voting. Now you see how voting is something to never take for granted. Today, I have provided you reasons why you should vote, including every vote counts, you get a choice, and voting is a privilege. I encourage every single one of you to get out and make a difference by voting. Make your voice heard. Get out and vote.